The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of not starting your recording before hopping on the call get canceled again.
I take it we're talking about Sacramento today.
Denver get canceled.
Yeah, I thought
Denver is worse than Sacramento.
I thought we were doing Denver, but I'm always I can bottle up my rage for another week.
See, we were meant to be doing Denver, but then we decided we were going to record at 8:00 tonight, and I didn't want to be recording until like 11. So
Thank you.
I do appreciate that.
So I chose a different disaster case for transit agency instead.
Sweet. Well, and it was going to be a 2-parter anyway for Denver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
works for me. I'm working
Denver next week?
every day, like this 7 days, so that's why I had to
Oh,
record
God.
late today.
I'm so sorry.
Is that legal?
How's your next week looking?
It's legal because my pay period is Friday to Saturday to Friday.
Well, also, Alex is an adult, so there's basically no hours regulations. Like, adults aren't even required to get lunch break.
I'm still doing 40-hour week this week. It's just that I took my 2 days off a week back to back. So that's why. But then they also don't pay us holiday pay, which I don't understand the legality of that, but
We live in Utah.
yeah, that pretty much covers it.
Sounds like
Yeah.
woke.
You know, I think it might be the other way around, but
Anyways, shall we do claps and then talk about a place that is better than Denver?
I mean, it's not a difficult accomplishment to get
As we'll discuss in the Denver episode.
because Denver
Listen
is
out for
actually
that,
the worst
viewers.
city on the planet.
yeah, you
Is
might
that a
not be
fact?
too
Is
far
it?
off with that to be.
We're having a 2-parter thesis on why Denver is the worst.
All right, let's cast a pod, and I know we'd all rather be casting a rod, but
Real.
Like it's more true every day.
well, I mean, podcasting is a mortal sin, so that's not true. I made it up with the crack pipe, but but I think it should be. I'm writing a letter to the Pope to ask him to make podcasting a mortal sin.
Yeah. Hopefully
Sounds
that
good.
happens sooner than later.
Right, because then I have a good excuse to quit forever.
Everybody's favorite podcast addict when she quits cold turkey.
Oh, I can quit whenever I want to.
Just one more podcast.
Just one
bro.
more
That's it,
podcast,
I'll be
bro.
smoking 6 a day.
Excuse me, I only have, 2 plus a different thing, and then I edit another one. Oh, and I'm probably getting another one. So
Uncountable.
I'm going to have 3 podcasts, 1 YouTube channel, 1 that I edit for work. And I don't make a cent.
Anyways. Yeah, rip. Anyways, the show. But you do get to go to San Francisco.
I do get to go to San Francisco. That is a good consolation prize because I like San Francisco.
I know, right?
Greatest city on earth, and I will prove it to all of you with our various content trademark. Okay, live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the internet, live from a rapidly burning Boston T subway car. This is the Red Line Podcast. I'm your host, quote, I'd vote for Joe Biden if he was dead, unquote, Dunstan, and these are my co-hosts.
Kyle, quote, Longfellow Bridge enjoyer, close quote, Holland, and...
Alex, quote, recovering from sunburn still, unquote, Fielder. Today we're talking about the forgotten third city of California, Sacramento. Why and how did California's capital get a light rail system, and where is it going next? All this after the news.
Funnily enough, Alex, your brother told me about your sunburn and that it was so bad you couldn't go, fishing with your
Oh no!
Yeah.
Not fishing.
Yeah.
My
I was going to go
condolences.
rodcasting.
Fishing is calling and you cannot go?
No, I couldn't pick up. I sent that to voicemail. But yeah, no, he was telling me how he told you about that at church. And I was like, that's great. But yeah, the rumors are
Rest in
true.
peace, Alex.
I couldn't go rodcasting, and that's why I'm podcasting.
We're so turning this
I can't
into merch.
believe that he told you. I can't believe he told you about how he told me that. That's like such a deranged conversation.
I don't know. It wasn't too surprising, but it's definitely something I wouldn't tell people.
It's the grapevine. This is how we get transit news. It can also be how we get broadcasting news.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Anyways, it's interesting that you mentioned Sacramento as California's forgotten third city, because that just makes me think back to all of the early California high-speed rail drama about, it's just a really, really expensive way to connect people between San Francisco and LA, and we should build this part or that part first, because we just got to go from San Francisco to LA. The high-speed rail is meant to connect all of California's major population centers, of which there are a lot.
In fact,
So I think it's really good that we're talking about the whole state.
there are also Sacramento and Fresno and Farmington, Bakersfield, and I don't know, help me out, I'm running out of things here.
San Diego.
Modesto. San Diego, sure. Oh, I forget about San Diego. You see,
And exactly.
the thing about California,
and frankly,
it's like there's two big ones, right? And then everybody just forgets about the other ones all the time.
and frankly, LA is so big and sprawling and so lacking in geographic constraints that you usually do dice it into multiple smaller areas.
Real, like the Inland Empire, whatever the heck that is.
Yeah. And whatever the hell's south of that. I don't
Orange
know crap
County.
about California. That one, yeah. I just watched YouTube videos about satellite footage of the high-speed rail, so what would I know?
Honestly, if I didn't know that I-80 connected to Sacramento, I would hardly know about Sacramento.
The only reason I remember Sacramento is because I thought I was going to move there very briefly. And then I've been through there on the California Zephyr a couple times.
This is like the depth of understanding that some people have of Utah, which is, are you Mormon? Oh, Salt Lake City. But California.
So
Yeah,
true.
pretty much.
But anyway, Kyle, make the news noise.
Do.
In something widely regarded as a good move, Maryland has decided to build the Baltimore Red Line as light rail, as opposed to, presumably, BRT. The long-delayed line will connect communities across the Baltimore region running east to west, with connections to existing light rail and metro services downtown. The selection also proves that filling out public input forms actually works sometimes. Community comments were overwhelmingly in favor of a rail option, and after a technical analysis, Maryland has made the popular and right choice.
Wow.
Who knows how long the darn thing will actually take to get built, but when it does, it should in theory be light rail.
Sweet.
How does this fit in with their existing subway, which I recall runs east-west through a limited part of town?
It runs kind of like northwest to city center and then like very slightly northeast. So this will run from like the west across straight east, I believe. And then the current light rail runs north-south.
Okay.
Sweet. Well, average based community input.
Average community input enjoyer.
Yeah.
This has been the news.
Do.
So, hold on.
Holding. You
don't have to do that, Kyle.
What, shitify it so we don't get copyright stricken?
That is correct. or just like do it in
I'm
general.
pretty sure I do have to do that. Ouch.
So, I have put as the headline of this section, quote, "Can anything good come from Sacramento?" Unquote.
I don't know, probably.
I'd be surprised, but I've been surprised before.
Well, I mean, it's a quote. It's a famous quotation that I have repurposed, but
And by good, I assume we are talking exclusively about mass transit.
that's correct. The only good thing about any city.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, City Skylines player.
I wish I was a City Skylines player. I can't be a City Skylines player because of woke and my computer. But so Sacramento began
Big
its
computer is out to get you.
Yeah, this is true. Sacramento began its life much as it is now, a comparatively sleepy town. Okay, I'm gonna hold on.
So Sophie, when she's buffering. This is how Alex feels cold reading your script.
Yeah.
No, I just am having keys jingle, which I think is going to come across badly. I don't mind the other noises so much.
Almost certainly.
Sacramento began its life much as it is now, a comparatively sleepy town sending goods downriver to San Francisco. But after a gold strike in, you guessed it, 1848, 1 year before the famous 1849.
It was the fall of 48. 48.
Is that an actual song, or are you
48.
making this up?
No, that's the 69 one, except 48, and I don't actually know what time of year the gold strike was in.
Oh, I believe it was
So,
also
yes,
the
I am
summer.
making this up.
Okay, well, fair enough. But yeah, 1 year before 1849, for which the worst football team in the country is named.
Oh, that's why.
And the scariest Scooby-Doo villain.
Is that what that is?
Minor 49er?
I did not
I
know that
believe
this was a
so.
thing.
Oh. Well, you weren't scared, so...
Oh, well. Shows me what I know. But anyway, after this, famous incident, Sacramento was rapidly transformed into a booming city and was named California's capital in 1854 after the legislature despaired, having to meet in San Jose for 3 years.
What did they not like about San Jose?
I mean, it's San Jose. It's
Trick
self-explanatory. No, I just think that at the time, everyone thought that Sacramento would be like the big city of California, so I think they wanted to move there.
Does Sacramento even have a port?
It does not.
Yeah, not a chance. Not a chance. I don't know why they thought that.
Nevertheless, it has become, I think, California's fourth largest metro area. Something like 2 million people live in Sacramento and its environs.
Let me guess. San Diego takes third?
I think so. I think there's like 2.8 in San Diego. I'm not sure. Or maybe 3.6. I don't remember. I'm looking it up now.
I'll censor the numbers later when they're wrong.
San Diego metropolitan area. Yes. It has 3.3 million.
Jeez.
Bazinga.
Bazinga. And then there's like the, 20 million almost in LA and like 10 million in San Francisco. So really this is like playing for third.
All right, so 2 million people in the metro area. That's already like an entire small state. What else they got going?
Well, it's home to a California state campus, so, large city have college. Shocking.
Yeah, is that surprising? Really?
No. And the state's government, which we discussed a moment ago.
That is interesting.
Which are both major employers. And when you have, a state with the population of Canada, you have a fairly large government. So...
Yeah, that would do it. That would do it.
It has a fairly decent and quite charming downtown. And I put this in here because Church Architecture Podcast crossover. Sacramento is Spanish for sacrament. There you go.
No way.
Church Architecture Podcast moment. As far as external transportation goes, there's the Capital Corridor train and I-80 heading to the Bay, as well as the California Zephyr and San Joaquins for those seeking longer distance travel by rail. Sacramento also has a sizable airport, which handles something like 13 million passengers a year, which is just over half of an SLC.
Whoa. SLC's bigger?
Oh, way bigger.
Jeez.
Because we're a Delta hub, so we're built different.
Woke moment.
Yeah, Aaron Mendenhall made us woke, so we have a big airport.
That is how cause and effect works, yes.
This podcast endorsed by Rocky Anderson.
I think you mean it's endorsed by punk rock Mayor Valentine.
Oh, yes.
I love how he put Mayor in his Twitter name so hard that we actually say it in front of his name.
And Instagram, too.
I would like to remind everyone once again that Michael Valentine is an alias. That's all I got.
Alias for the
Well,
for
so
what?
is Mayor.
Oh, I can't remember.
The devil?
Satan.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it doesn't deserve much of our valuable airtime.
No.
This is true. So Sacramento, like most Western cities, began its life as a streetcar town. I'm sure.
Every bloody city episode.
Yeah, there you go. The first omnibuses were introduced sometime in the 1850s, with horse and mule-drawn street railways entering the picture in 1870. The whole
Every time you say omnibus, I think of the robot from The Incredibles.
Do you mean like Omicron
Like a
Prime or
giant
whatever?
ball with legs. I don't remember what it's called.
It's like the
Optimus?
Omnidroid or
Optimus
something.
Prime?
No.
No,
That's Transformers.
Wait, oh, you said
Yeah.
Incredibles. Oh, I'm very stupid.
yeah. You are the worst.
So, the whole system was electrified in 1890 and had its peak year in 1918 when one of these great old-timey names for like a transit system, the Pacific Gas and Electric Streetcar Lines, carried more than 16 million trips.
I love all of those old names.
Relative to what population?
Much smaller than it is now. We're probably talking like 200,000 max.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That's
And how many
huge.
trips is that per resident per year?
So, I don't know. I didn't do the math for this. Do it yourself.
Okay, I was busy fact checking the population number.
Was I right?
I'm still working on it. 1920 city proper 65,000. So metro, you're probably not far off.
So that's like what? 40 something trips per capita? I mean,
We
I
will
think
leave
that the
the math as
streetcars
an
only
exercise for the
operated
viewer.
within Sacramento. So if it's 65,000,
Bazinga.
16
Our
mil-
population in 1918 was about 30,000.
I'm
I
confused.
don't know how we have different numbers.
Anyway, that's
That's
like
what-
if it's 65,000, it's 246 trips per capita, which is many.
Very good.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, continue.
So Sacramento streetcars have a rather typical downfall story. Serious declines began in the 1930s, and bustitutions continued until 47, when the streetcars made their last run. Transit
Yeah.
service was sold off to the city of Sacramento in 1955, and became a moderate success in short order. Although, or maybe because, it ran almost exclusively within the actual city of Sacramento, the STA, Sacramento Transit Authority's buses were high performers, carrying almost 8 million rides on just 16 routes by 1970.
I'm glad it's the authority, not the district.
The S-
That took a
yes,
second.
I do not, in fact, I don't want to take a ride on the STD.
That's what she said.
Yeah, you don't want to
Assigned you.
catch the STD.
I will bet you anything that that's the reason it wasn't called that, because like there's just no good way to say like, oh yeah, I'm riding the STD, I'm catching the STD. That's just not going to work for you.
I'm paying money to ride the STD.
Oh good.
That makes it even worse.
Oh no. In the 1960s and 1970s, though, the Sacramento area was undergoing a massive expansion, largely in the form of suburban sprawl. So,
Every city ever in insert time period.
So true.
Yeah, thanks Federal Housing Administration.
So, in 1973, the California legislature created Sacramento Regional Transit, which would serve both the city of Sacramento and its newly developing suburbs. Thus, SAC-RT was born, which I can't tell if that's better than SRT or not. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's got the same energy as MassDOT. I kind of dig it.
I like SRT more. I just don't like saying SAC.
Right, it sounds like they should get fired for what they're doing. Like, sack the rapid transit. Fire them.
Yeah, the SAC
Yeah.
RT would contain the STD. That's how I see it.
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you. That's imagery that I wanted in my head.
You're welcome.
Yes. The Real Headcanon Podcast.
Yeah, I'm not going to dignify that with a response, dude.
Thanks.
The Real Headcanon Podcast?
Yeah.
So, shockingly, and this will shock you, this is a BuzzFeed article waiting to happen. It was a big hit. Ridership on the bus-only system was almost 13 million by the end of the decade. But this wasn't nearly enough to stem the massive congestion and pollution challenges that faced the area by 1980.
Wow, make transit service, get ridership? Never seen that happen before.
A never-before-seen combination. Thankfully, a forward-looking group of citizens had been pushing for something better since the early 70s. That's right, SAC-RT was going to ride the light rail wave. The new line...
Oh, too bad they missed the Metro wave.
Oh, I know. It's too bad I don't know if they were big enough to hit the Metro wave. I gotta be real with you.
Yeah.
I guess there's like a theoretical world where there's like an E-BART extension to Sacramento, but that's not a world that I want to live in.
Oh, God.
So,
no, me neither.
the new line, planned beginning in 75, would actually take the place of a new freeway that was under construction at the time, running in the now disused
Inconceivable.
freeway bypass right-of-way and on some old Southern Pacific line. Actually, funnily enough, the oldest bit of Southern Pacific line in the country.
Interesting.
Is this
routing.
similar to Lutrac? Or is it
Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
think this is quite similar to Lutrac.
Because you mentioned air pollution earlier, and I'm like, well, sounds like what they did in Lutrac might have inspired
Alex,
this.
would you explain to our audience who have not taken this class where we discussed Lutrac extensively like we did, what Lutrac was?
Yeah, I believe the acronym is Land Use, Air Quality, and Transportation.
I think it's land use, transportation, and
Air quality.
air quality? Yeah.
Lutrac.
Dude, this thing sounds like the next thing that's going to be canceled by the Utah legislature after DEI.
Well,
It would be.
because, well, first of all, it was in Oregon, which means it's like, automatically equity or whatever.
Yeah, it was basically similar. A bunch of concerned citizens realizing that the Department of Transportation in Oregon didn't consider air quality when creating this freeway plan. So using that, they were able to get that cancelled and got light rail in the place of it. I think it was the MAX.
Yeah, it was the west side. It was the
Nice.
west side, the original west side extension of the Max from Portland to
Yeah.
Hillsboro.
Nice.
So it
So-
sounds like this could have been like a successor to Lutrac.
And I believe this was like similar, except for I read this whole like lovely PDF booklet on it that I just discovered while searching the internet. It was the like actual SAC RT and the local government like pushing for this against Caltrans instead of like, you know, only concerned
Ah.
citizens. So it was quite like a big bucking of the trend, if you will.
That's cool. Sounds like a lot of hard work either way.
Yes. So there were some cost overruns, and mind you, these when we talk about the price later, you're going to like laugh at the worries about cost overruns, and then subsequent hand wringing over whether the line could be killed off. But in the end, it opened on time in 1987, and the 18.7 mile, 60% single track line was carrying more than 12,000 riders daily by the end of the year.
Jeez.
Which is not a lot. That's like less than 1,000 per route mile, but like not that bad in the grand scheme of things.
No, and Sacramento,
If it weren't for this one caveat,
it was dirt cheap too, less than $10 million a mile in 1987 dollars.
yeah, no, that's pretty good.
What is that in today? That's like what, probably 45 million dollars a mile, which is
Yeah, I'm
just
checking before we're wrong.
Maybe
What, are
closer
we taking
to
bets?
30.
yeah. I want to take bets.
Ooh, neither of you are right. Alex is closer. 28.
That's
Okay.
it. Oh, I'm always like not optimistic on inflation calculations.
Well, 1987 was not actually that long ago.
I guess it is pretty close to the 90s.
Yeah.
So, yeah. By the time it was the 1990s, speaking of, the first line was carrying about 22,000 daily riders, meeting and exceeding its ridership expectations. More double track had also
Cool,
been
cool.
completed, allowing for more reliable operations.
I feel like
Yeah, no shit, having two tracks.
almost all of like the opening of the first light rails always exceed the expectations.
It really does. And then we seem to do something to make it not work anymore. And I mean, to be fair, most of that is like the Great Recession, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
So expansions continued beginning in the 2000s with further extensions of the original line to the east and a new north-south corridor, which is now called the Blue Line. The Green Line, a single-stop circulator running from downtown to a northwestern part of the city, was completed in 2012 as preparation for a future airport line.
Based _ line naming scheme.
Yeah, I love how that they have gold, blue, and green. Like, come on, guys. Go with the classics. Red, green, blue. Every light rail system in the country does red, green, and blue. So, SAC-RT's light rail peaked at 16.8 million yearly riders in 2008 and has seen an extremely notable decline since then. That's about 55,000 riders per day on a 40-mile
2008?
system. Yeah, I wonder what could have happened.
What a strange
It was
year.
the fall of '08. Was it in the fall?
I think it was it Black Monday they called it? I think it was in October. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Alright then. It was the fall of '08.
Yeah, it was a bad time. But it's like 55,000 a day, which is like comparable with UTA ridership of a couple years ago, but on a 40-mile system instead of, what are we, 45?
Dude, I don't even keep track of this anymore.
UTA tracks. I'm looking it up. We don't want to be the Real Wise podcast today. We're fact-checking ourselves in real time.
Ah, yes. Just-in-time facts.
We have a total of... Okay, so this is comparable to UTA of a couple years ago, basically, in terms of performance. But how did such a strong system, I mean, because objectively, that's pretty good, right? Like, no one's going to be like, oh, this is, such a boondoggle, blah, blah, blah. How did this fall to where it is today? Because even before the pandemic, ridership had fallen by almost 50% from that high point. And the actual number is 42%, but 50% sounds much more dramatic.
Yeah, I wonder what other economy-influencing events have happened in recent years other than the pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know, the pandemic has kind of forced this particular event out of all of our minds because we have a new horrible trauma to remember. But the recession was not good.
Yeah. Till next time.
Yeah.
The hot take of the day.
The recession is not good as the hot take of the day on the Red Line podcast, yeah.
Fresh, sizzling.
Sizzling. Oh, that's...
I know, 2008 was 10 years ago. Like, it's been a while.
15 years ago now.
Shush. I'm spreading lies.
So, basically...
Wait, it's not even 15.
It's 16.
It's 2024. Yeah.
I was
we're old.
rounding, okay?
Kyle is 2018 build.
I wish it was still 2018, man. If COVID had never happened, the transit world would be so much more better at the moment.
Almost like everything else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So basically, 2008 hit SAC-RT like a sack of bricks, and it's never recovered.
All right, that's it. Cut. That's the episode. We've peaked.
End of the episode. The system's feeder bus network was, sort of purportedly prior to this time, like very good, and key to its success. And recession cuts hit it very hard. I think...
Gee, I wonder if we've complained about the effects of feeder bus network cuts on any other systems on this podcast. I wonder if this is a really obvious problem that we should fix.
Theme at all. I think, although I can't confirm, that light rail frequencies were also cut, which probably also has something to do with it. As I said, they've never recovered. Nothing substantial has been built since then, really, because that Green Line sub is nothing. And then they built a 4.3-mile Nothing Burger extension of the Blue Line in 2015. And then there was a proposal for a half-cent sales tax in 2016 to expand the Green Line to the airport and presumably to provide more operations funding. But it was narrowly voted down. And I believe that this was one of those lovely 60% California things. So
I was just about to ask.
Bloody hell. Bloody hell.
So, I mean, it's hard to get $1 billion any other way. So this is just, like, indefinitely suspended now.
Yeah, that sounds
what
about
is the
right.
Green Line if it doesn't go to the airport?
Right, like... Like, they really need to rename their lines. Like, the Green Line... Actually, they don't need to rename their lines. They only need to rename one of their lines. They need to rename the Gold Line or whatever to the Red Line because it goes right by California State University. And then they will be, like, our twin.
Mm.
And then we can move to Sacramento and super commute to our office at 1 Market Street.
I don't know if it would be a super commute. It would be over 90 minutes probably, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely.
How long does it take on the Capitol Corridor from, like, Sacramento to Oakland or whatever?
A lot. I don't know. Look it up.
I mean, Sacramento is the...
Gotta be an hour and a half.
Probably. And then you
I'll
have
look it
another
up.
however the hell long it takes to get across the bay. So, probably.
Seconds.
I mean, it doesn't take that long because I think if you get off at Oakland Jack London, you can walk to BART from there. But,
Oh, cool.
anyway... So as previously noted, bus service is quite bad. I sort of did the thing that I like to do before these episodes and tooled around on Transit app. And like out of the like 15, 16 bus routes that I sampled, one was frequent. And frequent being 15 minutes.
Ooh.
Um,
Ooh.
So I'm sure that there are
That's
like
kind of disappointing for
few.
a metro this big.
It's a big metro and it's in California.
Yeah, why isn't it good?
State capital of California, no less. What are y'all doing?
No wonder the ridership tanked.
And apparently there are some experiments with microtransit called Smart RT Ride,
Oh God.
which is quite funny, but it is
I
microtransit.
disagree. I don't think that's funny.
Oh, come on. SMA RT Ride. Come on, Kyle. You know you love it.
No, I don't. I'm not even like LOLing. You know, where instead of laughing, you just think, haha, LOL. I'm
This
not even
is
there. It's just
funny.
no response.
They should have called that one the STD because it's affecting every transit system and no one likes it.
I think we should go back
They
and
bloody should've.
and rename the microtransit episode a transit STD question mark. This stupid trend is infecting all transit agencies.
Yeah.
Oh
That
Lord.
yeah, clicks, woo.
Clicks. Yeah. I think we should probably not do that. I don't know that YouTube's terms
No,
of
we should
service
probably
would
not do that.
favor us for that one. And I have put here for your guys' reference and no one else's a map of the Sac RT light rail. Very
Interesting.
radial.
I don't know I don't know enough about Sacramento for this to be useful. I'm
Okay,
gonna
I
go
want
look
you
at
to
Google Maps instead.
Yeah,
and
go look
so
at
can
Google
the
Maps
listener.
because Sacramento is itself quite an interestingly developed metro area. If you look at
Geographic
it,
constraints go burr.
there aren't really though. It's just kind of in a giant open plain mostly.
That is a shorter. Why is the yellow line really long and the blue line not so long? Sorry, the gold line. Where does
Gold
the
line.
green line even go?
I don't know.
It looks more like a
What, the-
streetcar, the green line.
Yeah.
And it's got
Where's the
that
airport?
loop downtown.
And there are two different airports, which is the funny part, because there's a really big one.
Okay, where's the regular one?
The actual one is to the northwest of downtown, just kind of out in a field.
Uh-huh.
So the green
Denver
line would go
moment.
there
That's
eventually.
that's what? That's only 7 miles from center of town.
A Sacramento International.
Yeah, that would be a perfect light rail extension. That's actually really similar to our green line. We have an airport that's relatively close to the city. Therefore, light rail, even median running light rail if you have to, is a good mode choice because it covers the distance in a relatively short time.
Yeah. But it is an interesting area, right? Because there's kind of this southern prong of development, and then the other prong is just this kind of straight line to the northeast, and there are some geographic constraints, but also I believe they have a fairly strong land use planning regime and an urban growth boundary, which is somewhat too responsible for the weird shape of Sacramento.
Interesting. Wait, why does the blue line dump out in a freeway median right next to, but not inside of the airport?
Because there are no planes that go to that airport.
Oh, where's the one that planes go to?
The other one in the northwest, next to the Sacramento River, up the I-5.
International. Okay.
Yeah. No, that one's I think just a civil aviation airport and a private jet airport. I think it used to be a
Weird.
military airfield, so
Well,
Yeah.
my earlier point about the green line still holds.
it's still pretty close to downtown.
Yeah.
So, speaking...
They could build a dangle train over the river to the airport.
they actually could do that, couldn't they?
They should do that.
Should they? Absolutely not. Could they?
Critical
No, they-
support for the Sacramento Schwiebahnen.
Wait, Schweeb?
Schwiebahnen
Yes. No.
is the dangle train. The Schwieb is taken from Schwiebahnen.
I don't know. I heard Schweeb first. So I'm going to run with that.
Okay. If we must. So yeah, Kyle mentioned it. The Green Line extension would be good. I think it's way too expensive, $1 billion for what is ultimately a 8 to 10 mile expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
California, cost snake, etc.
Also, what is this development pattern between the airport and downtown
That is
on
what
the
we
northwest
call
side?
American suburbia
But,
of the most
but
heinous sort.
is it because of the growth boundary that there's like a freeway encircling the older style city, and then on the other side it's just like copy paste suburb?
Dude, I have not the slightest clue. I gotta be real with you.
Like, this is, as someone from Utah who's used to our development patterns, this is like a really weird and really stark contrast.
It is quite strange, isn't it? Like how kind of, I don't know, old growth and then new growth like immediately outside of it. That I will say that the housing in this kind of awful suburban development is quite dense for single family homes. Like if you zoom in on it, like these people do not
Yeah,
have
but it's so
backyards.
Euclidean. Like, it is so textbook.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's so like you
What
couldn't
is okay? What is it?
make a
This
light rail line
giant.
work here if you tried.
That is like the world's largest parking lot, and there's no apparent reason for it to exist. Do you see this giant
there's,
parking
like,
lot right under
an office
Natomas or
building.
whatever? Like,
No, there's
did there,
office buildings.
Did there used to be a mall here? Yeah, but oh, no, those are apartments. There's
there
nothing
are also
here.
office buildings.
Oh, I guess. I don't know. I'll send you a picture of the thing I'm looking at because we're maybe.
Okay.
I see a bunch of parking lots, so I have
Anyway.
no idea.
The really actually like kind of exciting thing that's going on for SAC-RT right now is their train modernization program. So they have these really terrible ancient Siemens Duewag U2s and CAF S200s, mostly from the 80s.
Siemens dinghy, what now?
Duewag, D-U-E
Dewey
wag. I don't know how you.
I love
I don't know
that.
how you say that. And then CAF S200s. These are being replaced with S700s from Siemens to have rolling
Yeah.
stock that is not older than the sun.
Fair.
And then another sort of failed project from the mid-2010s was a streetcar to the west side. And this is being repurposed as a riverfront streetcar to not lose their grant funding. So, U.S. transit
Basically
moment.
Portland. Hashtag the other I-5.
I don't know. I think Portland streetcar is successful and good.
I don't know enough about Sacramento to actually comment on this, so I'm just shitposting.
Oh, fair enough.
Thank you.
True story, kids. Look it up.
Maybe it will actually be a streetcar. That's what I'll say.
Maybe. No, it'll probably be the S line. I will say, Sacramento's downtown has just like a massive amount of freeway infrastructure for a city of its size.
Overcompensating.
Yeah, it's got like the classic like choking.
It's almost a
Collar.
loop, isn't it? Yeah. The only difference being that one side of the loop is a river, which isn't much better, to be honest with you. Especially if there's no bridges.
Yeah, there's so shit all any bridges. Like, Chicago has it right. I don't know what they're doing here.
Yeah, or Portland even. They have a lot of bridges there. So,
Oh, yeah,
Sacramento, moral of the story, I think you guys will agree with this. Number 1, run more buses.
Yes.
Number 2, modernize your trains. You're doing this. Number 3, modernize or build the Green Line for a cheap amount of money, hopefully. And number 4, build more bridges.
And number 5,
Yeah.
rename the gold line to the red line.
That's right. Have some solidarity with your Utahn friends.
And insert other light rail system.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I was saying earlier that I think a lot of places do it like that, but I think it's just me projecting my own hysteria onto other people.
Probably.
Well, that's okay. This is the
We'll
Real
see you in
Lies
5
podcast.
months once we do research.
You what in 5 months?
We'll see the audience in 5 months with the answer to the question of which systems have which colors. I'm just guessing when this will resurface.
There's a handy chart online.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Yeah?
that. We should do an episode on like whether we think color naming, number naming, or letter naming is better. And each of us takes like one side and we have a debate.
I
call
call
numbers?
color naming.
What, does that leave me with... what
A
does that-
disjoint
Letters.
combination of numbers, letters, and a couple other weird things. Signed, New
Okay.
York.
Yeah, New York. I was going to say, or Washington, D.C.
Nah, New York does too good of a job. We gotta pick something else.
No,
Sure.
they should just have, everyone should start referring to all the different subway trunks as their color names. Like, oh yeah, I'm on the Lexington Avenue subway, otherwise known as the Green Line.
Well, they should name them after Ice Spice songs.
After Ice Spice songs. Yeah, this is I don't know any Ice Spice songs. Alex, supply an Ice Spice song for me, please.
Shoot, I don't know. I can't name a title of one off the top of my head.
This is the Hot to Go line, also known as the Second Avenue subway.
To hype up this episode, we can supply a series of Twitter polls about renaming various lines in various cities.
This is true. I'll put out, before the day this posts, I'll put out a poll with 4 options, and it says, should the Sacramento Gold Line be renamed to the Red Line? And then there will just be 4 answers, and they're all yes.
That sounds good.
Count me in.
That sounds like
Yeah,
democracy.
count me in.
I love democracy. I love the Republic. That was a Star Wars quote. I assume you got that.
No, I did not. I thought that was like an RFK
I did not get that either.
impression or something.
I was thinking French.
Oh, I could do Donald Trump. I love democracy. I love the Republic. The Republic, very big, very huge. Some people say we've done the best Republic of all. The best Republic. They're saying that.
The stacked court, the absolute finest.
Look, we've
No one
stacked the
stacks
court
the court
more
like I
bigly.
stack the
No one
court.
stacks the court like I stack a court. That's what people are saying. People are saying, Donald, you've done so well, Donald. You've stacked the court so well. We love you, Donald. You're the greatest. It's an absolutely huge accomplishment, folks. Oh, yeah, by the way, the country is kind of screwed, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the
I'm
Supreme
pissed.
Court
yeah.
retroactively made Watergate legal. I'm not kidding.
I have not heard about that yet.
So, yeah, no, but they're like, they ruled that president doing basically any action that could be conceived as in line with their constitutional authority is immune from prosecution.
Oh. Okay.
And
sounds
somebody
like a
figured
terrible
out
idea.
that Watergate could technically be construed to be covered under this. So, Richard
Well,
Nixon,
gotta
gone
love-
too soon, falsely maligned, our king.
Gotta love the SCOTUS.
Yeah.
Well, I just sent over that transit color scheme chart.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I saw that.
Why doesn't Houston have a blue line?
Because Houston is terrible and decided to go with the ugliest possible color of purple instead.
And shit green.
It is kind of like a poop color of green, isn't it?
It's like diarrhea green. That's disgusting.
I don't like how washed out the purple is on Houston. That's like my big gripe with this whole thing.
It's like they picked normal colors, left them out in the Houston sun, and then that's what they look like after they got bleached.
True. They didn't include
My
for
favorite
tracks.
agencies are the ones with multiple colors of blue.
I like the SF Muni colors. I think those are the best ones. Sorry.
What did they miss on tracks?
Oh, they don't have the like UVX/OGX color.
It's not a train.
Or the
Okay,
S
Kyle.
line.
but it doesn't say. It says
It's not
transit
real.
line. It says transit line colors in the U.S.
Real
and Canada.
transit lines only. I'm a professional gatekeeper. Joe Biden pays me to gatekeep. Alex,
it's
the
all
S
in
line
your
is in the
head.
gray column.
Oh.
Yeah. I was looking at the wrong one. So
Oh. I do like that the Metra has like basically every possible color.
Oh my god, yeah.
and Long Island Railroad has a lot.
Yeah. And Go Transit as well. They
I
have like
wonder
a
if we could post this on Twitter.
My question is like, oh, we can. Yeah.
Sweet.
I'll schedule it for tomorrow. Why did Go Trans in the CTA choose like poop brown?
Well, CTA, it's because they have the brown line.
Well, I know that, but you
Duh.
could just rename it to a color that is not terrible.
No,
Like the yellow line, which apparently... Oh, they have the yellow line.
that's already taken.
Maybe it's accessibility.
Maybe the CTA has too many lines. I
Maybe.
guess. Can people with color blindness see brown?
You're asking the wrong
fuck if
guy.
I know.
I guess we'll learn. I
Let me
guess
go put my
it is
phone in colorblind simulation mode real quick.
it is interesting to learn that basically every color or every system in the country has a blue line, except Houston, and all but what 2 have a green line. Wow.
I think all but one.
What?
Oh yeah, because
Why does SkyTrain
It's a
have 2
SkyTrain.
blue lines and no green line?
But that's the Weezer Teal album line. so-
because their lines aren't named colors. Their lines are like the Canada line, the Millennium line,
The millennial
The
line, more
millennial
like.
line.
That
the
doesn't.
Beaver line.
That doesn't mean they shouldn't be distinct colors on the map.
Oh, well, London is at the point where they've run out of colors. So,
What a good
Invent more
problem to
colors.
have.
Hire somebody who can perceive more colors to make your map.
we need,
I
like,
mean,
the
we
colors
should.
that they have in the 4th dimension.
Yeah, like burgundy or whatever.
Start doing textures.
Yeah, this is the, like, slightly abrasive sandpaper line. This is the, like, cat fur line.
The Vegemite
That is
line.
one way to make a colorblind
Vegemite
accessible.
Bean
oh my
on
God.
The
toast
pie-
line.
The pile of rocks line.
The T-Mobile magenta line that also gives you 5G poisoning.
When you
You
run
can
out
get
of
5G
colors, you have to
poisoning?
change scents. So
This is the...
Okay,
we can get,
dog.
like, smell-based lines, too, right? Like, this is the... rosemary omelet line. This is the
Average ants.
ketchup line.
wait, how about this? How about like instead of the blue line, we have Tiffany sponsor it, and we have the Tiffany line. We have the Heinz ketchup red line. We have the Home Depot orange line.
Count me in. Count
This
me
is
the
something that
hell in.
San Diego does. We're gonna have to have this whole conversation again when we do our episode on this.
Okay. Let's do it.
Okay,
Scheduled.
I'll schedule that for after Denver.
sounds good.
So, with that, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube, and to follow and leave us a rating if you're on iTunes and/or Spotify. If you like what we do here, please consider becoming a member on Patreon. Patrons get early access to all of our content, exclusive episodes, and occasional merch drops. Speaking of patrons, at Super Duper Capital Corridor tier, $69.69 a month, we have Zach Adams. At regular Capital Corridor tier, $10 a month, we have Curtis Herring, Devin Zander, Isaac Madsen, Phobos2390, and Tony Stunts.
At the STD Gold line tier, we have Brian Smith, Christopher Whaley, DJ
Hi, Will.
Watkins, Elijah Kensler, G4, Jacob Whitecotton, Jesse Mayo, Reluctant LA Resident, and Robert P. Walsh.
At the blue, quote, ride it all the way to the airport with no planes, unquote, line tier, $3 a month, we have Alex Dykowski, Alice MYOB, Ben Busath, Bradley Bondi, Ethan McDonald, Evelyn, Gavin Grotegut, Gonza12, Jack McCoskey, Martine Hecker Martinez, Matt Gray, McKay Ransom, Oliver, Sam Myers, Sky Lakowski, and Zach Christot.
At the second most popular line color in the United States tier, Green Line, $1 a month, we have Benjamin Wood, Joshua S. Horvath, and Kapil. Thanks for listening.